Today we are here for the first annual day of Thousand Shantans. Last year on 8th of October 2019, we lost our beloved friend Shantan due to lack of minimum health facilities in Silchar. Since then we have been fighting days and nights to keep a change in the health sector of Barak Valley. Today we are observing the annual day of Thousand Shantan by bringing two super specialist doctors, Dr. Anand Ramamurthy and Dr. Joy Varghese. Also, I'd like to welcome Dr. Rakesh P. Gopal, who has been helping us since day one. Today, we are in unison to celebrate the discussion on Learn from Leaders, Health Infrastructure of South India in Barak Valley. So, without further delay and before diving into today's session, let our guests be felicitated by the dedicated workers of Thousand Shantans. So, first of all, I would like to welcome Mr. Vinayak Bhattacharya to welcome Dr. Rakesh P. Gopal into today's.
I don't know why particularly South India. I should rather think, see, everything is possible everywhere. Only thing is, where right now what is happening is many people have to travel from here to get Medicare elsewhere. It's not just in South India, outside the Barak Valley. That's the requirement now. So what happens is, people who can afford only can go out, and people who cannot afford have to suffer, have to stay back, and then maybe not getting treated too. So what I'm thinking is, primarily there should be an infrastructure development that should happen here. We should be world class. Then only you get people who can receive treatment here, and then you will only have centers like that which will come up here. See, if someone requiring a bypass surgery, we have to travel to Chennai or Bombay or Delhi or anywhere, if you can afford. So that much money is spent there. So that goes into upbuilding of an infrastructure in that place. So that certain number of procedures will have to be done in a year to maintain the competence of centers. So those people who can afford land up going somewhere, and that contributes to development that particular place only. So from Barak Valley, this money is being drained out. So if you say you can create a free hospital here, where everything can be done, it won't work. Because if you want to do a proper job, it is going to cost. See, if you are going to build a car which is safe, good, crash tested, everything, then it will look like a Mercedes. So every car should be a Mercedes in that case. But that is not what really happens. We have Marutis too, So both will be there. But still, if we are able to capable of building a center here which can cater to local people, the best of the care if you can provide. The money people spend outside will be spent in Barak Valley. The Barak Valley also will have a similar infrastructure that, as you mentioned, in South India. So that can happen. And that is actually it may not happen in one day. So unless you make these people who go out and spend money, who can afford, becomes contributors to development of local centers, then that should happen. See, the drains here are not any different. Only thing is, right now many of the patients have no faith in the local hospitals, and so we have to build some kind of a trust in them. So that, see, unless you make a center which is world class, there is no point in talking about quality. Unless you provide quality service, then you cannot do anything. If the people don't spend here, then what is going to happen is only those people who cannot spend only stay here. So they can't get in treatment. So what you need to work towards that. And it's not just about creating infrastructure for treatment. It is also very important to prevent cardiovascular disease or any cancers, that kind of thing. Unfortunately, the incidence of cardiovascular disease and the cancer of the oral cavity, I mean, is more common in this northeast India because of the tobacco use in different forms. So you have to do something to prevent all these things. So if you, I would rather say it's not about just building another hospital or building another cath lab. That alone will not help. Unless you do something to stop all these things. This preventive campaign should be taking the lead. It's okay, it's important, you can pull out people who jump into water. But at the same time, you should be able to tell them, see, you don't jump into water. That's important. So my idea is to whatever you want to do here, it should be world class. It should be unparalleled. So that you get the people who cannot afford also can be treated. Because there is a center which can cater. We can use the government support for that. But building an infrastructure is important. And you should have local talent. You'll have to train local doctors. You'll have to empower them. That's the only way we can go forward. See, like you say you make a cath lab, just you can say a refurbished cath lab or lower rent cath lab, then it will remain like this. Still people will keep going out because your cath lab is not good. So if you want to stop people going out and spending the resources you have here, rather than spending here, then you should provide that kind of service. I think you would agree to it.
First of all, thank you very much for inviting me for this session. Here I am seeing is a group of young minds who have come forward for a good cause. That means there is a lot of motivation behind it to have a team of young minds to come forward. But you see, this is not just for a cause of, for example, a marriage function or just a gathering to have a festival or whatsoever. Here we have gathered for a cause, that means to take forward modern medicine in our township. You look at what is modern medicine. It is nothing but logical thinking which is put to test and again test and again test and make sure that every step what we do is right. Then we say that, okay, this is the treatment which is to be given. Look at the perfection which is required to do that. A perfection doesn't come overnight. Perfection comes after a lot of effort which has gone behind it for years together. I would say that if there is a motivated young minds are there, this is going to happen. We have it here, the motivation. Now we have to take it forward. Now when we say about modern medicine which is being practiced in South India and then we want something similar to that in our township. Yes, how we are going to develop this? If you have to analyze other cities and townships which has developed this in India and rest of the cities in the world, what is suitable for us, of course, our leaders have to take a decision. But most of these centers, medical centers, are coming under private, public, and public-private partnerships. This is how it grows. These decisions have to come from the leaders and the political minds. But we have a lot to do in this. We have to show that we are together to make this happen. When there is a common voice which is coming from the public, the political leaders have to take it. There is no other way. There is no other go for them. So now we have put it together that we want this. How to go forward? That has to come from our leaders. We have to give feedbacks from our side and take it forward. Of course, I will say that the perfection what is required when we take modern medicine ahead is the key. Perfection doesn't come from just a good doctor coming into your town. Perfection doesn't happen by just building concrete buildings. There had to be two-way traffic. One is Doctors have to be there, the infrastructure has to be there, the patient satisfaction has to be there. Look at that. So one way we are providing the healthcare, and the seekers which comes for the healthcare should get satisfied. So the two way it has to go hand in hand. Then only it grows up. So it's not the responsibility doesn't end where bringing in few doctors from south or whatsoever we have come in or whatsoever. But taking it up ahead is by giving the treatment in our township in such a way that there is patient satisfaction. I'm sure that you guys are doing a wonderful job now. We have to take it ahead. How? Make more like-minded people come in and make it a formidable force that no one can stop it. When the cry becomes louder and louder and louder, it will reach the ears where it is supposed to reach. And then the decisions will come from above that it need to be constructed, it need to be provided to the people. So I am 100% sure that whatever we have done so far here, you people have done so far here is wonderful. And every step you are scrutinizing and making sure that every inch you are making into perfection. That's the way to go ahead. From the very beginning it has to be in perfection. As Dr. Rakesh said, that we cannot be satisfied with mediocre. We have to be satisfied only when each step is 100%. You see, when a camp is done, it should be 100%. See, when a prevention is done, it should be 100%. See, when a mask is placed, it should be 100%. Right? Likewise, I am telling as an excuse, as an example, but what I am saying is, it should be 100%. Every step you take 100%, this is bound to happen. We have a wonderful team among you all. I am seeing a bright future to Silchar. Thank you very much for.
Good evening. Thank you for asking me to address the gathering. Would you like me to address you in English or क्या आप लोग हिंदी prefer करेंगे? Anything? Everybody is perfectly comfortable. Okay. So basically, what struck me, I didn't know about this much before because as Dr. Rakesh Gopal gave me a really short notice. But it struck me that the enthusiasm of Mr. Rohit, who was in contact with me, was such that I never knew who he was in the organization and what was his position, not even about the organization. But the way he did it was, and when I reached there in the morning to see this bunch of enthusiastic, energetic, committed young bunch of people and know about what this 1000 Chantons stands for, really impressed and inspired me. It impressed me because there was this bunch of people who was willing to take this cause up voluntarily without any sort of funding and go about it purely on their own dedication as a service, and that really impressed me. So rather than tell you how or what is the way where the south has reached or where other parts of the country have reached, it's not something that happens overnight. It's a process, and I think every place has to discover its own path, because the diseases, the food, the culture, the mentality of the people are all unique to different places. So I'm going to share with you an interesting story. Recently, my friend from college, he's in Silicon Valley and he's a software entrepreneur. He asked me to check out an organization which is doing work in the interiors of Bengal. So you can probably look it up. It is called IKURE. IKURE is the name of the organization. But when he asked me to check it out because he's a techie and I'm a doctor. What impressed me was how the organization utilized the resources, locally available resources at all levels in order to reach the deepest house in the interior, even in villages where primary health care is not available. People had to travel kilometers to get primary health care. And it was not easy. I was impressed because of the way they had gone about it. What they did was they created these Anganwadi or Asha kind of workers and taught them basic skills equip them. Now miniaturization of digital technology has taken place. You can get information like pulse, BP, ECG, and with small machines you can get ultrasound or spot urine analysis, things which will give you the basic healthcare of a person, like a screening tool. So they train these people in the use of these basic screening tools, and they would go into the interior of the villages and screen all those who had symptoms. From there, they would identify the people who were at moderate or high risk and who were in need of further assessment or testing. Bring them to the next level of care, which would be like, say, the primary health center kind of care, but it's like a common for a cluster of villages, and it's located in a town. There are more advanced facilities like echocardiogram and certain more, for example, eye testing and stuff like that. So from there, people who were in need of care, whose problems could not be sorted out at that level, were through telemedicine or through video calls connected to the doctors who were located in the towns. And there they used to say either solve the patient's problems there or identify the at-risk patients and get them to the town to be treated. Town like Silchar, for instance. You have a medical college, you have a civil hospital, and you have all those facilities. So I thought that that was a very good way in which the entire community gets involved. So everyone plays a part, everyone is, awareness spreads, they are empowered, and since healthcare penetrates down to the most, where it is required the most, everybody, that basically gives a true meaning of service. So the other thing why I said was, why this techie asked me to look into it was, once they reached a certain level, then they sought funding, because to get the equipment, to train people, to get good doctors onto their panel and all that, they needed a certain kind of this thing, funding for the technology that they used. They were using a lot of like IBM Watson, to using software or artificial intelligence to diagnose or screen patients at the early levels to decide who needed escalation. So those kind of tools need money, and that's where the funding requirement came in. And why it's encouraging is, there are people who are willing to fund these things. If it's for a good cause, if they see value in it, and if they see that the people who are in it are determined and they have a solid plan, they are willing to fund it. So all these things are possible. And so that's why I wanted to pick up something, because they've already talked about how we can go up. That is going to come. But only if healthcare penetration goes into every household and every village and remote corner, then we have truly achieved. Otherwise, we'll continue to lose people and we will never come to know about it. So I will leave that for you to think. I thank you very much. It's a good opportunity for me, because after 12 and a half years in the corporate sector, one of the reasons which motivated me was that economic constraint should not be the only determinant of good quality healthcare. Good quality healthcare should be available to everyone. That was one of the motives. And in that respect, I am thankful to Dr. Rakesh Gopal for giving me this opportunity, and for the 1,000 Sayanthans to kind of give this opportunity to do what I want to do and what I love doing the most. Thank you very much.